We have a special guest star today in the building with us.
Ah,
I have the pleasure to be with who today?
Stephen Campbell, regular guy, not a star.
No, this is good. Stephen, thank you for being here. This is awesome. We're going to be talking about, listen, I came to you. You've been doing some crazy projects with Bubble. You got so much information about APIs, doing all this stuff. So I said I had to talk to you, man. You've got
All
all
right.
the answers right there.
Well,
So thank you for being here, man. Thank you for being here.
thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. Now, there's going to be people definitely in the chat that are asking about different things. If you're working on a project, especially with Bubble, different APIs, remember, have all of your questions in the chat. You've got the man right here today. All right. So you already hear me struggling and all this stuff. Steven's here. He's been building some really cool stuff. And you know what? Real quick, I'm going to be showing this. Yo, Darren, you're already here, man. What's going on, man? Erica saying, Steven, what's up? Docs, what's up? Good to see you, Erica.
Hey, everybody.
If you don't mind, I think this will even be better for people. Steven, tell the good people who you are, first of all.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just a guy, a Jamaican guy. Really love tech. I've always been interested in artificial intelligence. By profession, I'm really a chemical engineer turned no-code maker about 4 months. Yeah. And, I've just been building projects, shipping them, got 2 weeks, 2 months free after entering Bubble's Immerse program without being successful. And I just shipped some projects, and Virtual Ghostwriter just kind of took off, went on product hunt number 5 product of the day on December 31st, 2020. And it's just been, different since then. So I met Doc somewhere on the way, and this is the video guy. I just love his stuff. If you go through his content on YouTube, I just sometimes go and sit there and just look at the video titles, because it has some exciting stuff. So I'm really excited to be on the program with Doc today. Hopefully I can, help boost the program, maybe answer a few questions. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe,
Oh, come on now. He's being modest. He's being modest. Thank you so much for being here. You've done a really good, it's just so solid with Virtual Ghostwriter. I'm going to be doing a full review that is coming out next week, talking about the different ways that you can be using this platform. But what Steven's been able to do with AI, you are able, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're able to use this in so many different ways of headlines, creating different blog posts, and even summaries of your content, all with AI right there. So you're plugging in, doing this thing. It's so many things. So think about this, y'all. When I'm always talking about, I have paid in the past different writers to just create weekly blogs to increase my SEO. You could be using this to now streamline all of those things and have AI work for you and build upon all of your different ideas just using this. This is incredible. This is incredible stuff.
Yeah, man.
And you did this with Bubble, and what else? What else did you use?
So the stack is bubble.io, OpenAI's GPT-3 API, and Stripe to monetize. And yesterday I just completed an integration with PayPal using Substack.io. This cool guy that works with a lot of Bubble templates, and I met him on Twitter, and I just got to use his app. Really nice app. So that's a start there. Very simple, just very basic. No technical things that went into it. I try to keep it very simple, just to kind of demonstrate that an application can just be one page, that can be one box, and it can be so powerful, so that's it.
Looks great. No, we're going to be doing a full review later next week. It will be dropping, but I cannot wait to show. This is going to be so much. I see it not only for yourself, but if you're already an agency and you're doing certain things, I can see this being used for you to start building out. Maybe it's not the the final cut of the blog, but think about all the time that you could save just by using this. Crazy stuff right there.
I didn't know I would get a shout out like this, Doc.
Oh my goodness, of course. Oh, by the way, Andre's talking about it. Says Andre Millwood says that he knows you, Stephen.
Yeah.
He's saying, yo, bless up to Stephen. He says, what's that app name again? Which one were you talking about? Let's see. Andre, which app are you talking about? Bubble? What was he talking about? What did you say, Stephen? I'm sorry.
Andre, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Jamaican massive in the building. Big up, big up, big up.
I love it. I love it. Let's see. Do you think it might be Bubble and this? Say the stack they used again, Stephen. Say this. The stack.
Bubble. .io. OpenAI. Stripe. Substack to integrate PayPal.
What was the OpenAI API? I don't know that. Say that again. Could you?
So OpenAI has an API, and it allows you to call its GPT-3 machine learning algorithm, which is basically trained on several billion parameters across the internet, and it's a powerful natural language processing model, and it has been used in many different applications. I've seen persons build idea generators. I just came off a call with someone who it does ad copy, but ad copy in such a way where the user doesn't have to input anything. They literally integrate with their Google Ads account. I don't remember the name of that application, but I just got off a call with the co-founder of that application, and he's using GPT-3 as well. So many different applications, and I have some more ideas about how to use OpenAI's API. And I think once they drop that what you call it, that AI image generator, that's gonna change the game for designers. I think so.
Can't wait, man. All right, we got to keep you posted. By the way, make sure if you haven't subscribed, go to Steven's YouTube right now. He's dropping all kinds of stuff, especially with Bubble API, all that stuff. Steven, drop your link in the chat when you get a moment. I'll put it out there, or I can find it. The good people need to follow you, all this stuff. You know what? I think you put it on Twitter, so I think I can grab it real quick.
Yeah, just...
I got you. So remember,
it was still on my clipboard just now.
No worries. We got you. Also, by the way, we got Jay saying appreciate you. By the way, Jay, thanks so much for being here. Erica, of course, moderating the chat and YouTube. I appreciate you. Andre's talking about the Substack for PayPal integration. Okay, awesome. So real quick before we go down this rabbit hole and we talk about Bubble and APIs, can you tell the good people, some people that are watching, they might be into no code or they're trying to build a project. Could you just easily explain what an API is? What is it?
So in the very simple terms, it's just you call it a pipeline, a channel to get data from the source. Let's say Google is the source, and they have data that I need, say Google Analytics data, traffic to my website. I can just call their API, which is just this channel that connects the source to my application, and the data is presented on the front end, right? So it's not very technical. It could be, but in plain language, it's just communicating with, communicating from a source to an endpoint, and that's called over the internet, over HTTP.
Okay. All right. So what I wrote down in my book, it's just a communication. It's two different systems being able to talk to each other. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, correct.
So tell me about now, and we'll get into Bubble. I've got a love-hate relationship with Bubble. You're so much better at it, and I see you Bubble experts out there, and I wish I could be like that, but I'm just not. Talk about the power of APIs. If people understand the power of it, what could you create if you're actually good at this or understand the power of it?
Yeah, here's the thing. When I started with no code, I realized that the basic step or the basic skill that any no coder would have in the future is knowing how to call APIs. If nothing else, knowing how to call APIs, because I could build a let's say a tourism application, right? And instead of programming everything myself, I just call an API from someone who has already done it already. So you can, by accessing third party, just build an entire application by one simple API call. And virtual ghostwriter is basically API calls. You know, I couldn't program machine learning algorithm like OpenAI. How long would I have to take to get to that level? Whereas, you know, very brilliant engineers, you know, program something, they build something, and I'm just the creator pulling on that knowledge. So I believe, you know, any application that you could think of now, there is possible that there's an API out there and you can make the call and build that application.
Okay.
Right?
Listen, what I'm hearing is I just liked how you said pulling on the knowledge from a creator. I saw that I really liked how you said that. Of a creator if you had the API. So if they already created it and they've already had the documentation, you can take that and now build your own thing if
Yeah.
it's open for you. I love that.
Yeah.
And I like how you were saying that it's two systems talking to each other. Okay, that's language I can understand because listen, I listen, I struggle with this
Yeah.
stuff. So when
Hey.
I heard you did this, I'm like, let's hopefully this is helpful for some people. So in the chat, if you've been wondering about webhooks, APIs, you've got the man right here today that will help
And
you break it down.
disclaimer. I actually don't have the best definition. I don't have the correct terminology either. I am just a guy that likes to tinker. I think I think I could be an inventor, or I'm a modern day inventor by just thinking up things and just going around and doing trial and error. You know, some persons will go to the documentation and say, "Oh, this is how you do it." I see the documentation and I literally go to the next page and I'm like, trial error, trial error, trial error until I get it. It's
Look,
just tinkering. So I don't even have the best definition for you.
you know, but I like what you're saying, Stephen. Sometimes I think though, when you're coming from a different angle than what a lot of people know, it helps other people get to know it quicker
Yeah.
because it allows you to see it. And maybe it's not the exact thing that's in the industry, but I think it's a verbiage that people can understand. I know it helps me. So this is really good. And Erica's saying you're being modest. You're doing a great job. Like if you're just saying that you you don't know how hard this is, and you can see by people hitting you up, Stephen, how good this is and that you just built it. So don't shortchange yourself. This is great stuff, and this is why you're on the show to help people. And look, Stephen, people are already asking you questions. Junior asked real quick before we go into this. Junior says, "What's the difference between an API and a webhook? What's the difference?"
Okay. So an API is, I would say, it's structured. The source or the creator, the person that made the tool or the application that you want to call from, they have set up a way in which you call the data already, right? And there is documentation. There's a way you can get it via post call or a get call. You know, documentation is usually there, and they have set endpoints where you call the data from. You know, in my experience, what I understand from a webhook, on the other hand, a webhook is more of, you know, it does almost the same thing. And in my mind, I'm thinking a Stripe webhook as against the Stripe API. Let me use that as an example. The webhook would kind of connect certain points. So I use a Stripe API to collect payments. So I can, you know, allow a user to subscribe. I can allow a user to cancel. And there are different status changes in the back end of my application. However, the webhook, when I set up a webhook, it actually connects the API and sends a signal to say, okay, this user has now been successfully charged. And when that webhook is activated, I can then, create a workflow around it to say, okay, send this email. Or, for example, when a charge fails, I can set up a charge failed webhook, and then I build a workflow around that to say, send the user this email and have them try the card again. So there's a difference there.
And Stephen, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I love how you explained it. When you were saying that, so I've got API, the API, its structure, you can call the data, there's set endpoints, there's things. To me, I almost think about it as a hook in the water, like getting a fish. The webhook's only going to work if there's a fish that grabs onto the hook, and then it does the action. But it
Correct.
has to do it. Something has to hook onto it before it actually activates. Does that sound right?
Correct.
Okay. So I love that. So if I'm understanding API, you can do so much more with it. It can be working all these things. Webhooks can only activate when there's, like Stephen said, when that action happens, bam, then you get that reaction or you get that notification. Okay, cool. Listen, Junior, you got some good questions out there. I love it. He says, thank you so much. That's good stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
So we've got this. We understand talking about a little bit about APIs. That was a really good question about the difference between webhooks. I'm just going to say,
great question.
Yes, fish, action. I'll just say, an action gets recorded and then the hook. Action gets recorded. Action is recorded. Then an action takes place. Action takes place.
And let me just mention something on that again. So I set up an API call with Stripe via a plugin on Bubble to subscribe users, right? But what would happen is that there was a delay, and when a user is subscribed, there's a delay with getting the signal from Stripe, a very slight delay, and it would cause certain workflows to kind of break. I wouldn't, give the exact thing. But when I set up a webhook in the backend, it compensated for that delay. So the webhook kind of completed the entire connection between Stripe and my application.
Nice. Okay. And thank you for that example too. I think that really helps. Thank you. I'm just writing notes right here. By the way, in the chat, I already put in the Notion doc. Some people want to see what I'm writing. I'm writing in real time, but you can see the doc if anyone wants it right there. I got you. I just put in the chat. Okay. Good stuff. All right. So now this what if I'm understanding this correctly, Stephen, what we're going to do is we're going to look at an example of this, of talking about Product Hunt and talking about seeing this in real time, and kind of, I think seeing the examples of it is going to help people to understand. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, man.
All right. Let's do it. So real quick, Stephen, as you get ready, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell people, if you have not used Product Hunt before, where have you been? But no, producthunt.com, if you go over there, this allows you to discover a lot of basically new ideas, apps, all kinds of stuff, websites. It just keeps growing and growing. So if you go to producthunt.com, you can see the product of the day. Stephen already mentioned. He's already got awards right there. He's got accolades right there. So he was already number 5 product of the day, and that is hard to do. You don't understand. There are sometimes hundreds of products launching a day. For top 5, that's why I'm afraid. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be real vulnerable. That's why I don't launch on Product Hunt, because I don't think I'm going to do well on the day.
Yeah, I've thought twice, after I launched my first thing on Product Hunt, and I got like 7 upvotes, and it just disappeared from off of the face of the earth. I was like, this thing is tough.
Yeah.
I surprised myself. I was surprised when I launched Virtual Ghostwriter, and it went up there. Persons really loved it.
It's no small feat. So guys, like honestly, when you see that, that is excellent job. By the way, Rick on Twitch is over here saying what's up. Thanks so much. Happy Friday. We've got it's Jen G Rusto. Thanks for the invite. Everything very interesting implementation here. Definitely. Thank you so much for watching. We got people from Periscope coming in, people on D Live, all different things, whatever platform you're watching. Thank you so much. So we talked about Product Hunt for a moment and how well Stephen did premiering on there, what that meant. Now what we're going to do is, Stephen, we're going to talk about showing the power of APIs and with Bubble and all these things, what we're going to do with this. Do you want to talk a little bit about what we're going to do?
All right, probably I should share my screen.
Yep. I'll switch it over. And then when you switch over, then we'll bring it on screen.
All right, let me see if I can do this. Product Hunt.
There we go.
Everybody seen that?
I'm going to bring it over. There we go.
Yep. So this is my Product Hunt settings page. I hope no private information is here. So there's an API dashboard that is linked to every account. You guys will have my, token and so on. I'll delete these afterwards. But, this is the basic. Everybody seen this?
Yep. We're good to go.
This is the basic API dashboard that Product Hunt provides. Very simple. I think it's they built it on something called Graph. What is it? GraphQL.
Okay.
I think that's a popular thing to build APIs on now. But let me just jump over to their documentation here. I was just trying to set up something before I got on the call and with Bubble, and I just wanted to pull in my username from Product Hunt in Bubble, and this application, it could well and sign in persons with their Product Hunt accounts. So if you have an application and you'd want to sign in persons with their Product Hunt account, you'd go to the API and connect it to Bubble or whatever platform you're using to build with, as long as it allows you to call APIs, and you could get a user signed up in that way. But I'll do something very basic. And here is the request that you'll set up. You set up a post call, and this is the endpoint of their URL, and they provide all the information, the headers and the body request, right? And if it's called successfully, the status should be 200, right? So I had something set up in Bubble where I built an app, Bubble.io, launch an app. It's the free tier. I haven't linked a domain or anything else. Set up that app, called it Product Hunt -API. Went into the plugin section and installed the API connector. So I named the API Product Hunt API, and the authentication was none or self-handled. There are various ways that you can have the API set up. Another popular way is OAuth to user agent flow, where a user is logged in when they click a button and it redirects them to the source page and calls their individual token and have them signed in there. So I use none or self-handled because I use my personal token to have this application set up. So I create a new API call. So if collapsed, it will look like this. You want to say something, Doc?
Yeah, just real quick. For some that were asking, okay, what are these tokens? What's going on? So remember, the tokens, it's just going to be something personalized to you. So it's just like a key that it just is individualized. So Steven's walking you through all of these things. He's letting you know that when he's having this connected, it's going to take that. Remember, we were talking about at that very beginning, where on that Notion doc, we were talking about two systems talking to each other. The keys, the tokens, that's how they know that they're talking to the right people, because you have the right tokens. So as he's going through all this, just keep in mind that's what he's talking about as he's doing these things. So good stuff, man. That's it.
So you're seeing the Bubble API connector here. Thanks, Doc.
Not yet. We're seeing only the product hunt page.
Ah, so it seems I'm a little bit ahead of you guys.
No problem. No problem.
How do I switch over?
I would maybe stop sharing screen and then share it again. And can you share? Are you sharing a desktop or are you sharing the whole window or something like that?
Should I share the application window?
I would.
All right, let me just do that. So have I gone into metaphysical state yet?
No worries. No, this is good. Junior, they're talking about this is good. Aha! There we go. We got it, guys.
So I was running ahead.
No worries. You're good. We're here. Everyone's saying, Junior's saying, okay, the tab. We're good, man. We're good here.
All right. So Bubble did an app, went into the plugin section, API connector. It's a free plugin. I call this API Product Hunt API. And I was talking a lot, and I guess you guys weren't seeing, but there are multiple ways that you could set up the authentication process. I just did self-handle because I will use my personal token. Seeing the product hunt page?
Yep, seeing it. We're good.
Yep, that's my personal token. I delete this afterwards.
You better delete this.
So I set up a new API call. So it's a post call based on their documentation here, right? I want to get the username, right? I want to get the username of, if I was going to get the username of somebody else, for example, a user of my app, I would have to get an authentication done. So I would have to call their token, I would have to get an authentication done, but that's kind of technical, and I'm just gonna do it simple. Oh wow. So it's a post call. Here's the endpoint URL, api.producthunt.com, and the v2 API GraphQL. It's used as an action, and here are the headers that were described right here. Accept content type authorization host. Accept content type authorization host and the corresponding values. Point to node, bearer. Under authorization bearer, the value is bearer, space, and then I copy and paste my token, the full token. So I'll copy and paste the full token here, ensure that there's no spaces, there are no spaces before. And I copy and paste the body request. It's the very same thing that they provided in the API documentation, and I'll be calling the username. And I would initialize the call, and it returns my username. So as you can see, my username is Campbell's Investment. So in just under a couple minutes, you have set up an API call that requests and gets the username of any user. In my case, it's my username because I use my token. And an entire sign-in process can be built on top of that. And to me, that's powerful. To me,
you did that in a couple minutes.
Exactly. I just leveraged Product Hunt's entire sign-in process with just calling an API. And I think that API calls are the future of no-code, outside of AI doing something that you don't have to code as well. But APIs are it.
So we're going to talk about this because I only told Stephen about this like in passing, but you can see what he can do. And by the way, for some people, they're like, well, Doc, you're always talking about how can you make money, what's going on, these things. But think about what Stephen just showed you, right? If, say, for instance, I want to leverage a database of different marketing websites or a database that I have access to with an API, you can write something where you get the results. So say, for instance, if you're trying to deliver a product, you know what, let's go with this. I'm going to go we're gonna not even do theoretical. Let me show you real quick. It's going to be what is it? Get cyber leads. Let's go with this real quick. So I'm gonna pull up, add to screen. Okay, so we've mentioned this on this program a few times. So find new clients for your digital agency. So it's 500 handpicked companies that raise money. Now, right here, it's going to an Airtable, and that's what you're getting charged for. Now, this, how much are they charging per month? Guess how much, Steven? How much do you think they're charging for you to get 500?
I would say 99. What was it again to get 500 leads?
500 leads every single month. And handpicked, it says, but you could do that with AI.
999, maybe.
Lifetime. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad, actually. So they're charging $100 monthly, 500 yearly, or 1K lifetime to just have the 500 right there. And you could do that with APIs and just redirect it to Airtable. Could you not?
Yeah, but I mean, getting leads, it's almost like a marketing budget or a ad budget then, you know, because if you can get qualified leads, you know, hot leads, 500 handpicked per month, you know, entire business is run on less sales per month. You know? So that's pretty valuable, and I'm sure budgets are sometimes into the 5 figures. You know, I'm sure of it. I've seen it.
Exactly right. I mean, if I'm looking at this real quick, I'm thinking about Monkey Learn. I'm not sure if you saw this one, but basically you can pull in an API or pull in an RSS feed and be able to handpick which kind of headlines or what kind of data you like and don't like. It then builds out what you like and dislike, and then you can just use this with API calls and then populate those quote unquote handpicked leads. And I'm not saying they don't do handpicked, but I'm saying you could automate it and create this thing in a second just by what Steven showed you by APIs and understanding those things. Yep. Janet put Monkey Learn in the chat. Real quick, Erica's asking you, Steven, can I use this to get names and emails from LinkedIn events I set up?
Yes, you can. I did.
Yeah, you just did something with LinkedIn. I forgot.
Yeah, I did. I actually did an app, fakecommuting.com, and because it was a trend on LinkedIn, I would have users sign in with LinkedIn. And it was pretty interesting to learn that I could get the first name, last name, email address, and even the headline of persons on LinkedIn via API call. Now, my app did the first name, last name, and profile pic. So, yes, you can get information of users. I think the email, though, you'd have to get special permissions from LinkedIn, though, because that's kind of sensitive, you know, to be collecting users' emails. But definitely via their API call, if you have the correct auth, you could get it done, definitely.
I love it. I love it. Steven, and Steven didn't know I was going to go down this rabbit hole. I didn't tell him this beforehand. But when I was hearing what he was doing, and if you understand APIs or being able to do this, I actually think you can be using something that is on AppSumo right now. Let me go into my account. What is it called? Goodflow. Goodflow allows you to be building out your workflows in your business, all by hooking up different API calls and building your customized workflow of what you need. You have to know how to use the APIs to really utilize this platform. So if you're looking at this, I'm thinking if I was going to sell this to a client, SWAS, software with a service, if I understood APIs and webhooks, I could automate their business and customize it with Goodflow. And I'm charging them for the initial build out, and then I'm charging them a retainer to do that with their APIs. Yep. So
I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to go down that road with you, doc.
Listen, we'll talk about this later, but listen, I'm putting that in the chat. Listen, Goodflow, I'm just saying it right now. You're seeing the application of if you're layering and you understand APIs, what Steven's showing you, the power of it, using other tools like this, you can be setting up agency services very quickly by utilizing what he's talking about. And you will be essential for their business because they're not going to want to do all that stuff. They will want something like this.
It's like drop shipping in the cloud. Then, it's like getting what they have built, and just integrating it in your app.
I love that. I love that.
They have invested millions, and now they have an API that says, okay, if you call our API, we will charge you so and so and so per this consumption, and all you have to do is just mark that up.
Exactly.
Drop ship it.
Love it. Love it. Real quick, this is so Erica was saying if they sign up for the event, they want to know more about the event. Erica, also too, I'm thinking about, I would really back out, and Stephen, let me know what you think. But Erica, for you, I would say look at the end result of what you're trying to do with LinkedIn, right? Mm-hmm. Are you trying to get just their information? Do you want to put them into another sequence? Remember, if you're grabbing that information, if you're using other no-code tools like Integromat, Zapier, things like that, once you grab that, you can go off and do whatever you want and put them in the sequence. I think if I'm right, Stephen, don't you have a breakdown of how you did LinkedIn, the API on your channel?
Yeah, I did. I have, the app is still live.
Yeah.
And I have a YouTube video on that.
Okay, cool.
Probably should check that out.
Okay. Yep. And Erica, we're going to drop that. You're already on LinkedIn. You're with us on the Build With Me community. So you'll get that link in a little bit. Stephen, he goes deep on these things. So yeah, it's going to be. So this is something Stephen doesn't know all the way, but this is just showing you the power of what he just showed you with Bubble and everything. I'll show you a project that this is under wraps. This is what we're going to be working on. I'm going to recruit Stephen to help me with this, but this is something, if you have not seen, it's allowing you to create your own AI video, and it allows you to have people speak whatever your newsletter was, whatever it is, and it allows you to have avatars to be able to do this. So I view it as almost like a network of different anchors just by having these avatars, having these built in. Now, what they have is, and they just opened it up, they have the API right here for you to be able to hook it. So to me, in my head, I want Hacker News or Product Hunt, new products of the day, to be hooked up to this, and then creating videos daily of people talking about all the tech news or the products of the day. And I have a YouTube channel with all these people right here.
That's crazy.
So I need your help, bro. So this is, but it's all has to do with the API. They already released the documentation. I think it's possible. I haven't seen anyone do it yet, but I'm like, you can do natural speech. You can do all those things. And I'm like, this is really the future of, you know how many times you see like update YouTube shows where they're having like, they've got to make 5 videos a day and they got to run back. If you have this, you can have the avatars be speaking about it. And then you just have your cast right there. You're good to go.
Yeah. And you could literally build an agency on top of that API, a video content production agency. You give us the script and we give you the video. And this is, you're cutting out the overheads, camera equipment. You're cutting out, hiring actors, so many overheads that are being cut out. So APIs.
So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, listen, this is Stephen. I'm going to be, listen, we got to talk off air about this next project and all these things. But I really think this is what I want to do, especially showing people there. It just takes a few basic fundamentals to understand things. And then you can be rapidly changing the game of what you can be offering. The connection, Janet, I'm looking at you. You're doing a lot of great things with agencies. I think you can do a lot with different services with APIs and streamlining workflows and really making it crucial. So if people are interested in this project, let me know. This is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about it. But this is an excellent topic for you to talk about APIs and all of these things, Stephen. You're just, man, you're ahead of the game and you're doing so many good things. So this is awesome, man.
Yeah, I hope more persons will see it as not so much a hurdle, because tech is at a place now where anybody could do it. Anybody could do it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. And I love your YouTube channel. I try to do it over here. We're trying to help people really do it. And by the way, also, if you're looking for API help, if you're looking for projects, Bubble, hit up Stephen. We're not talking about free consultations. Stephen takes paid clients. So if you need help with all of those things, make sure you reach out to him. Really good. It's just, if you look at his YouTube channel, the things that he can do with LinkedIn, all the things that he's creating, this is just the beginning. Yeah. Where can the good people find you, Stephen?
Pardon?
Where can the good people find you at?
Well, I'm mostly on Twitter and LinkedIn. Twitter handle at STEPO Campbell, CAMPBELL _ at Stepper Campbell _. LinkedIn, Stephen Campbell, founder of No Code Makers. You know, that's where I respond fairly quickly to DMs. You know, send me an email at contact@nocodemakers.com. Contact@nocodemakers.com. You know, I respond within, 24 hours.
Look at this. We already got someone. Murray's talking about it in the chat. He's like, I got a big project. Listen, I always say, like, if you're really looking at these things, I always like to refer the people that are just moving and doing so many great things. So make sure you reach out to Stephen. Oh my goodness. By the way, peer character bowing down saying thank you. Listen to this. Thank you so much for the super chat, Erica. Man, doing a super chat right here. You know, I'm on my other one. I would already done my sound effects right here, but I'm going to be streaming later. Of course, I'm going to be doing this. So thank you so much for the donation on the channel. I really do appreciate it. And again, keep talking about, keep finding out more information. Go to Stephen. Oh, real quick, I'm dropping the Notion doc right now for you, Janet, in the chat. Right here. Let's see.
I have to say, Doc, you're an inspiration, man. Just how you do your thing, you're such an inspiration.
Man, no problem. Listen, I love doing this. I love talking to great people like yourself. This is really good. We're going to be right after this. We got to talk about that project because there's a lot of good things coming soon. Remember, reach out to Stephen if you need help, all of those things. Janet, no problem. Again, also too, if you see it, there's going to be several different types of Build It communities. One's going to be through YouTube. So there's going to be a join button and all this stuff. We're creating some stuff that's going to be released next week. But remember, this is a free show. If you have any questions for Stephen, anything about APIs, anything to round up on this section, listen, this is your show. Everyone that's watching, we really appreciate it. So anything that you're thinking about, let me know. Also, too, 1 second, Stephen, I have one question as the audience is. What do you think about Postman and everything like that? Do you use Postman a lot, or?
Yeah, I have been having some issues getting onto Postman, but I did download their app. I have the desktop version, and that's a game changer. You know, when I did the first API call for Virtual Ghostwriter, that was done on Postman. You know, I was having some issues, because based on the API documentation, different platforms can have different setups and requirements, but Postman kind of semi-automates the process. So you could drop in a URL endpoint and it populates headers for you. So it's a game changer. Like, Postman is the thing that you consult with before you do your API calls.
That's awesome.
Very good platform.
We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. And by the way, and also too, shout out to Mark. We were talking about this earlier. One of his videos are going to be dropping soon. If you're looking at, but what's the practicality? How can I just understand? He does a really good explanation video looking at an API of just getting beers from a distillery and pulling the API so you understand, like, if I'm looking for this kind of beer, if I'm looking for this kind of the hops or whatever's in the beer, it categorizes, and you can pull the info by getting that information from the API and things like that. There's so many applications. People are using it for their side hustle and talking about beer. People are building virtual ghostwriting platforms. It's all out there for you to take advantage. So really good stuff, guys. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And again, coming soon, I'll probably do a working day on Sunday. So if people care about that, I'll probably be, well, you know what, it's Super Bowl in the States, but I'll probably be working probably after the Super Bowl or later in the evening. So Sunday, if you have any questions, let me know. Also, too, in the chat, I just dropped Steven's YouTube channel. So subscribe to that one. Check it out. There's a lot of details if you're interested in this to go deeper. And again, I'm not the expert at Bubble or detailed things. Go see Steven. He's an awesome guy, and we'll go from there. So again, thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you soon, and we'll see you on the next stream later this week or next week.